Good morning. Hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. I want to talk a little bit about the information that's come out in regards to Tucker Carlson and Fox News and how they knew that Trump had lost the election and they were choosing to promote known lies. Um, Let me start here. The Fox News is propaganda organ for the rich. I've said this before here, and I think that this really shows you. It further proves that we're there. Them not being able to win popular votes, popular results from elections for the last, 10, 20 years. Going back to before George Bush, excuse me. I think that this shows you that this is a Republican Party that is no longer operating upon any basis of reality. And that this is the future for them is in promoting known lies in order to obtain objectives. In a reasonable society, people that I grew up with, this would be the end of Fox News as a political organization. You knew Trump lost. You promoted lies. You obstructed the current president, Joseph Biden, because of wanting to have ratings for the right. Your bumpkins and your whatever, and you having to come before a court for that to come out for them to know, for this all to be exposed. So election officials and major news networks reported there was no election of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election. In the weeks, Trump and his lawyers demanded recounts. Fox News hosts repeatedly singled out the election tech company Dominion Voting Systems for rigging the elections and flipping votes from Trump to Democratic nominee Joe Biden, while evidence to back up the claims. Though internal communication and private messages showed the network's talent, executives agreed claims were ludicrous and BS. Dominion is now suing them for defamation, seeking $1.6 billion. Let's go over a few of the emails they got. Baltimore says, Sydney, we talked about Dominion software. I know there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that. Sydney Powell says, to put it like mildly, the computer glitches could not and should not have happened at all. So the fraud took place. Fox News knew that the fraud claim was nonsense. The day before Sydney Powell appeared on the show, she sent Baltimore and other Fox News hosts an email entitled Election Fraud Info from a source, a self-described wackadoodle, alleging that Dominion was, quote, one common thread among voting irregularities in a number of states. Baltimore later admitted the email was not evidence of claims of election fraud. Giuliani talked about the machines could be hacked. There's no question about that. Machines could be hacked. It's far worse than that. The day Dominion sent Fox News emails entitled, quote, setting the record straight, with links to information debunking the claims to show about the company. So I'm referring to these claims that Smartmatic owned them and that there was some type of connection to the former dictator Chavez of Venezuela. It included a link to federal officials' election authorities' statement: the 2020 election been the most secure in American history. Under oath, Lou Dobbs admitted he had seen the statement November 12th. Stay on subject here. So Justice Jeanine Pirro, talked about the same thing. Venezuelan connection to Dominion. A Fox executive warned her she should be very careful with allegations relating to them, the ownership and election fraud. Her show did not air in the days of the election. They arranged it. They knew her election coverage was irresponsible. According to the legal brief at the time, the network had said it bumped the show in favor of ongoing election coverage. So it's interesting that even with all the craziness, and even with what I used to call, and I call now, fanatics, Fox News still had enough sense to kind of keep it on the low, kind of control the fanatics. while using them, because the whole thing was about not losing viewers to Newsmax and other far right news channels. And I think Newsmax is off the air now. See, this is my point. I'm always looking at things a little old school. And I'm always looking at things with a nuanced glance. When I talked about COVID-19, and I said that Trump knew about COVID. He was warned about it. He was briefed on it, and he did nothing about it. And that came out in the House report recently that he knew, he was briefed, that the intelligence agencies worked as they should. You had a president that was unwilling to operate the way he should have, and he told on the Bernstein tapes, he told him, let me get the name wrong. We going on the tapes. He told him, he said, I downplayed COVID for the election. Other lies Trump told. The point is, these people are operating upon good faith. That you're willing to put a hand into what basically ended up was a possible insurrection attempt on the Capitol. You're willing to promote known lies that have led to numerous mass shootings and mass bombings, and God knows what else has happened we didn't know about, for viewers. Let's go on here. So Sean Hannity talks about no one likes the money voting system. Nobody. Why we use a system that everyone agrees sucked. And Sidney Powell talks about certain witnesses of fraud can't come forward because of they lack government protections. At this point, Hannity knew it was false. Obvious allegations were false. And the weeks after the election, leading up to the broadcast, his team monitored the evidence, but saw none. In a text, Hannity called her an effing lunatic. He said something, I remember, where he spoke about, if you have something to present, please present it. And she never did. There was never anything to it. What it all shows is Fox News, Republican Party, basically ran a hustle. They ran a hustle for Trump, and I think that's important to remember and understand with this kind of evidence, that you got people not acting good faith, and they just don't care. We've said before that Fox News is not a news agency in any way, and it isn't. It's a mouthpiece for the rich, and I think that this proves that better than any other evidence I could obtain. That they knew the election was false. The election fraud claims were false, but promoted them anyway. It's like everything else. This is all short-term thinking, because in my mind, there's no way they couldn't know it would eventually come out. Whether it be Trump talking about COVID going away and talking about Jewish space lasers and all this, it's just none of this right-wing crap means anything. None of it. And it's all based upon the faulty narrative that white people are being oppressed. What did Trump say? They're not after me, they're after you. Which is the notion that any of us have anything in common with Trump. I just when I looked at this, I had to make a video on it. It is just so clear that Fox News and other news agencies of this sort are mouthpieces for the rich. I talked about it before. When the Michael Brown riots happened in Ferguson, Fox News wasn't even there for the first night. I believe it was Patti LaBelle passed and got her name wrong. These people don't have any connection to the reality most Americans know at all. And this is another example to add to that list of just not having any respect for their role as a news agency. I think this is dangerous. And I think that, as I said, this further plays into this white pride stories of white folks being oppressed, their truth not being told, and that there's this grand conspiracy against them. There's no conspiracy. You're a pawn. You're a token, and you're being used. Uh, you're being used to really make society unstable. Thanks for listening.